Hello, everybody. This is Ryan from Pi Records, and I'm here with Trevor from the Televisionaries. How are you, Trevor?
Good, Ryan. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. I'm doing great now. Now that I have you here. First, I'd like you to introduce yourself, what you play, and talk about the members of your band, and introduce them that couldn't be here with us today.
Yeah, my name is Trevor Lake. I play guitar and sing in Televisionaries, and my two younger brothers, Austin and Brendan Lake, play guitar and bass, and we all sing and write songs together. And then our friend Aaron Micah plays drums, and we've been playing with him since we were just teenagers as well. So we've been playing together for a very long time.
Very cool. Very cool. The fact that it's a family band has, I'm sure it has its good and bad points, but you get to share some really great moments collaborating and being on stage. I'm sure that's very special to you.
Yeah, it's very true. I mean, that's the magic about it is, we get to travel and play and write songs together as a family, and it's just there's nothing better. I mean, it's hard at times, but we're all very comfortable with each other because we've known each other our whole lives. So that is a pro and a con of being in a band with your brothers, but so far so good.
Awesome. If I might be so bold to say, but then I want you to comment on it. A lot of your music is on the instrumental side, but a big component is the Beach Boys vibe that I get. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, we love the Beach Boys, all eras of Beach Boys, but when we started out, it was more 60s surfing hot rod Beach Boys. But, that sounds great too. But yeah, we love Brian Wilson and their brother, the fact that they're brothers as well. Singing together kind of influenced us heavily.
Yeah. So you've been playing together your whole lives. Did you start playing this type of beach music?
No, I think like a lot of people, we started playing punk music because it was the easiest to play, to really cut our teeth on and learn to play. But I think the type of punk bands we were influenced by led us to the surfer sound, like the Dead Kennedys and the Adolescents and all those Southern California kind of groups.
Yeah.
Blink-182 on the popular punk side of things. We always liked California style bands, and the more I listen to those kinds of bands and reflect, the more similarities I see between the Beach Boys and Blink-182, honestly, and Jan and Dean and all that kind of stuff. It's just a little bit faster version of that kind of stuff.
Especially the Descendants, because they're totally inspired by surf music, especially Bill.
Yeah, definitely. You're absolutely right. You just probably growing up in that environment, you just can't escape that kind of stuff, which is something we were a bit envious of, being born and raised in Rochester, New York. But hey, I'm glad we're from here, and I'm glad we live here.
Awesome. I almost went to school in Rochester University.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of great schools here. It brings people. That's one of the things that brings people from outside the state to Rochester, is all the schools.
Do you find a lot of when you play out, a lot of the college kids like to come to the shows?
More of them would, but I don't think there's a decent amount that do, but not as many as some other cities. I would think.
So
but, yeah, we get a decent amount.
So you said you get to travel. What are some of the highlights, some of the best shows you've had, like be it with the High Tide Festival or something in LA? What is the most memorable for you?
Well, actually, we just got home from Spain 2 nights ago. We were there for 10 days. So that was probably a big, very memorable for us. We played some amazing shows over there last week, and I think that really take the cake already. So yeah, we played Madrid, Valencia, and Torremolinos, and they were just, every show got better and better. It's just amazing to play over there. and we got a really warm reception.
Spain has a really rich musical scene. I want to say there are a lot of different stuff coming in Spain, and they seem very appreciative of all music.
They do, yeah, and especially kind of the retro music, be it power pop, surf, punk, or rockabilly, rock and roll. They really they get it all in. So I think we went over pretty good there because we do play so many different styles of music on stage, and yeah, they really, we'd be in the middle near the ending of our set, and they would not let us get off. They wanted more. It was just great. It was wild.
That's awesome.
Yeah, really great.
So how did you hook up with Vince and High Tide, being that they're mostly instrumental?
When we first started out, we kind of were mostly instrumental. So a friend of mine told me about the High Tide Festival probably back in 2016. So I just reached out to him. He said, "Hey, you guys are from Rochester. Well, I'm from Canandaigua, which is near Rochester somewhat." So we just kind of bonded over that, went down there, played the festival, and now we are on the High Tide record label, which is doing really well.
That's great. You fit in right with the other bands. I mean, the whole beach vibe that High Tide has. You have Slowy in the Boats, the Black Flamingos, and the Televisionaries. I mean, it's they're all different, but they all have that same culture behind them. Do you wanna speak about the culture that influences your music?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We love the beach. We live on Lake Ontario, which is actually a pretty nice coast in some areas. And yeah, in the summertime, that's how we get our kicks. You go to the beach, you go to the amusement park, you have a fire at the beach at night, and you skateboard during the day. And it's just, it's like a Southern California lifestyle in Rochester. We just like to do all those things.
Interesting.
And, yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what type of gear you use to get that authentic 60s sound.
Personally, I use a Telecaster, which is not common for surf bands, but I think it works great. A lot of people think of a Stratocaster or a Jazzmaster, but Telecaster works awesome. And I like country music too, so if I ever want to incorporate any country guitar licks into the music, it works great. But a reverb tank is key if you want to have a real genuine surf sound from the guitar. It's just a floating tube essentially, or a floating spring that's powered by tubes, and it looks like an extra guitar head, but it's just for getting a reverb sound. And I can't play shows without it. I gotta have it because nothing compares to it. But anything Fender guitars, Fender amps. That's the sound to me.
Awesome. I'm a Fender guy myself.
Absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about your reverb tank. Is it vintage, or was it something that you came across at a music store?
I guess it's vintage now. It's from the early 90s, and I just happened to find it on eBay, and I got pretty lucky because now they're almost, they're out of my price range now.
Yeah.
Even the 90s ones, but I scored one, and hasn't failed me yet.
Awesome. Yeah. It must be crazy to find somebody to fix one of those if they go down.
Yeah, actually, they're not too bad. They're pretty, from what they tell me we got a couple great music stores in here where they repair stuff, and they're not too complicated because it's just a couple of tubes that power it and some wires that go to the spring. So they made it sound simple to me. I wouldn't know how to fix it, but that's why they're there. But apparently not too bad.
So have you played any other festivals? You said you like to travel. Besides Spain, which is an amazing journey, where else have you played that that you've enjoyed, and what other kinds of bands do you kind of fit in with on the bill?
That's a great question. We kind of end up on a lot of the more retro sounding festivals, which makes sense, but we don't just, we don't have one specific sound. So it's nice to win over crowds that are there because they are there at a rockabilly fest that we play, and we'll play some songs that sound like that, but not all of them. But to win over those crowds is a great thing. But I think a lot of people just genuinely understand the different types of music that we like and are influenced by. As far as festivals, yeah, the High Tide is, the High Tide Festival is really the only festival, I believe. No, we played the Heavy Rebel Weekender, actually. That was down in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And that one's been going for a while, too. It's more, I guess it's more like punk and rockabilly and surf festival. So that's pretty broad range, but
yeah,
that's a good wild time. And yeah, this year has been really good. We just have been getting a lot of opportunities. We did the Rock and Race in Spain, which is one of the biggest festivals in Spain. And then we're going to go to Viva Las Vegas, which is probably the biggest rockabilly 1950s kind of lifestyle festival in the U.S. That's the third weekend of April.
Awesome.
So
I'm glad to see you guys are getting out there.
It's nice. Yeah, we get a lot of opportunities this year, which we're grateful for.
Yeah, definitely. So this is something that kind of bugs me, because a lot of different genres of music have a community that gets promoted in magazines and things like that. One thing I found when I started this channel is there's not a lot of press that goes into the dedication of surf music. I mean, we do have people like DJ Dottie and Sean Barry and Jean Paul, DJ Dottie, Sherry Corleone. We do have people that do like Surf Guitar Forum. But as far as a presence for support, what would you like to see more of?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know if people don't take it seriously or they think it's just a novelty sound, which could be the case. There's plenty of great genres of music that have always been ignored because of a novelty factor. You hear the song or the style of music in a movie or something, and you just forever relate it to that. You don't think it can be taken seriously outside of that. I think that might be one of the issues. But that's a great thing about High Tide is I think they've really made it cool to a broader audience. So yeah, I think we're on the right track.
That's one thing that I like you just said. I think within the community, everybody is helping each other. But I think if more people outside of the surf scene would hear the music, they'd be totally into it. They could totally relate to at least their parents or themselves, a movie like Pulp Fiction. I think if more people were exposed to it, it would blow up.
Yeah. I think it will. I hope it will.
I think there's a lot of hardworking people within the scene getting to those people who love surf music, but I know there's a lot more people out there that would love to be would change their whole outlook if they would go to something like the High Tide Festival and see all the bands there. Somebody from outside of the scene, I think anybody that would be introduced to it would definitely latch on.
Totally. That's a great thing about the High Tide Festival I've noticed is the diversity in the audience. It's not just what you'd imagine when you think of a surf music fan. There's people that look like they came from, maybe the office or wherever. They just look like it's a nice diverse crowd, which I like to see because that means open minds, and they're just there to have fun.
So I want to talk about the music writing process. When you start a song, do you have a theme in mind, whether it be instrumental or you kind of have like shouts in your song, kind of like Shamalama kind of shouts when you how do you know when a song is going to be like that or it's going to be more of a Beach Boys vocal inspired?
Honestly, I don't think I'm really good at writing songs. I don't really sit down and just write a song like a lot of people do. I guess I kind of wait for an idea to just kind of pop into my head when I'm doing something totally unrelated to playing guitar or writing a song. You know, I just walking down the street's really good for inspiration. I just kind of have to be struck with inspiration. That's it. Or sometimes sleeping. A dream will happen, or I'll hear a song or a lick of something, and I'll have to wake up immediately and record it or write it down because they're fleeting moments. I'm just kind of constantly always just chasing a little idea. No rhyme or reason really.
That's very interesting that you say that, because I hear some musicians say the first thing they wake up in the morning, they hear an idea in their head, and it's kind of like they were dreaming about it when they remember it when they wake up, and it's like a complete thought. That's another approach I heard to it, which is kind of like in the dream state where you wake up and you go record it. I mean, that's not only skill, but that's ingrained in your DNA.
It's true. Hold on just one moment. It's okay, baby. Baby girl here. Yeah, you know, I think the songwriting process it's always changing. You know, I'll go through waves of being able to sit down and write something, or waves where I will have no ideas and I'll have to just let them come to me. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's just hoping something hits me. My brothers, on the other hand, they're more prolific. They can write. They've got plenty of songs written, ready to go on the back burner. They're just always writing. So we're never short of ideas, thankfully.
Cool. Who would you say you and your brothers writing influences would be? Where do you get your inspiration for writing the actual tunes?
I think it depends on the time in our lives. You know, a lot of it was my brother Austin was very influenced by Brian Wilson, Pet Sounds era stuff, and the Kinks are a huge influence. NRBQ, Chuck Berry. You know, it's just pretty broad. You know, it's just rock and roll in general. Good rock and roll songs. We just try to write like those people that wrote those songs.
Yeah. So coming back from Spain, where do you go from here? You have quite a few songs out there. Are you working on anything right now?
There is a full-length record that will be released on High Tide subsidiary label called New Tone. The record is called Mad About You, and that will be out April 1st. And we recorded that at New York Head Studios in May of 2021. So we're just waiting for that to hit the shelves, I guess. So we're really going to promote that really hard, and we're really excited because we have an LP out already, but I think this is a newer sounding band, different sounding. So it's kind of like a debut LP, we're kind of calling it, of the new Televisionaries.
Awesome.
So we're really stoked about that.
Are you gonna?
It really sums up.
Are you gonna have some vinyl?
Yeah, it'll be pressed on vinyl.
Awesome. And your other album, your debut album, can be found on vinyl as well?
Yes. The first album we put out probably in 2014, maybe, and that was on Real Time Records, and that was mostly a surf instrumental record, but we don't have any more copies. You kind of just got to find one. But yeah.
So that's very exciting that you're putting out a full length record. When you recorded it, what was the style that you recorded? Did you record it all yourselves, or did you go into what studio, or should I say, what studio did you go into, and how did you was the recording process for you?
We went to New York City, to Manhattan. Our now friends, Rafael and Matt Verderay, they own a studio called New York Head Studio, NYHED. If you want to look it up, it's amazing analog studio. And it was a really comfortable experience. We just went in there and laid down the songs in probably 2 days, finished the whole record. And Matt and Rafael, the engineers, were just helpful, and they almost produced us in some ways where they added ideas and whatnot. We just really connected with them, and it was just a great experience. And the record came out, just couldn't have asked for a better result.
That's awesome. So that's coming out. Do you have any tour plans for that release in the spring?
Yeah, we'll be promoting it in Vegas. I don't know about any extensive tours yet. We probably will work on something like that. Nothing on the book yet.
I think by that time it'll be a little bit more easy for people to get out and go to shows and get back out there and start enjoying music and leisure and especially as uplifting music as you guys do.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's still kind of a hard time. Not everybody's ready to go out yet. So when they are, it's going to be a good time.
So where can people find you? I know High Tide is selling your music. Where can people that want to know more about the Televisionaries, where can they find your music, and where on social media do you guys contact or get contacted by your fans?
Frequently on Instagram, Televisionaries Instagram. All of our music is on every streaming platform: Amazon, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Bandcamp, pretty much everywhere. If you just throw our name into Google, you'll find us, which is really handy. You'll
awesome.
Find the website, you'll find the Instagram, the Facebook. You can't miss us.
Awesome. And because television is such a highly searched word, when you put Aries in there, it's really easy to find, I found.
Yeah. There was another Televisionaries we were competing with for a little while. I think they were from New York City, but now pretty much just us come up. So
they're the ones with the robots on the cover, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I listened to them first, and I'm like, oh, these guys are good. I'm like, but I don't think they're the guys I'm interviewing.
Yeah.
So
people would always confuse us as them.
Yeah. Is there anything that I may not have touched on, or that you might want to talk about or promote before we sign off?
I think just keep your eyes open for Mad About You, the Televisionaries full-length record coming April 1st. I think that's pretty much it. We're just putting that's the big one.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Trevor. I really enjoyed spending the week listening to your record or the EP. And I love the Beach Boys myself. So when I heard it, it was really, really a fresh take on it. And, kind of made me, like I was taken aback, and I really, really, really enjoyed it.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Ryan.
So I want to thank you, and have a great rest of your day, and have fun playing with your baby girl, right?
Thank you. Yep.
Hi. Hi. What's her name?
That's Cecilia.
Cecilia. That's a nice name.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, you have a great rest of your day, and I know you're gonna have fun with it. You're gonna have fun with Cecilia.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Have a great night.
Yeah. I'll see you later.